And a big thank you for Rambaru Mataji for beginning the first in a series of talks to the community of devotees in China.
那么我要尤其感谢 Rambaru Mataji 来到中国，为中国的奉献者，那么来开启一系列的这样的公开的讲课。今天是我们的第一堂课。
In our ISKCON community, we talk a lot about caring.
在伊斯康我们的这个社团当中，我们谈论很多关于奉献者关爱这个话题。
Which certainly is very important.
当然，这是一个非常重要的话题。
Sometimes we don't know how to do that properly.
有的时候我们不知道到底该怎么样能够正确的来关爱奉献者。
So Rambaru Mataji has been trained professionally in different ways how to properly care, not just for devotees, but people generally.
那么 Rambaru Mataji 是经过了特殊的训练的，他知道怎么样很专业的来关照奉献者。其实不光是奉献者，也包括所有的人。
She's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. She came to Krishna consciousness in the mid-70s.
Mataji 是Mataji 是圣帕布帕的一个门徒，他是在70年代中期的时候得到启迪的。
And for 20 plus years, she served in various countries and various temples with her husband.
那么之后的20多年里，她一直是和她的丈夫在各个庙宇里面做服务。
And then after that, then she began her journey of being professionally trained in different methods of caring and counseling people.
之后呢，她就参与了这个专业的培训，去怎么样照顾其他人，包括去其他人提供咨询。
And she began, in order to offer this service to the ISKCON community, she began this Karuna Care group.
后来呢，她又想把她学到的这些技能运用到奉献者的社团当中来照顾奉献者。
Some Chinese devotees have already taken one of the introductory courses.
那么有一些中国的奉献者已经参加了这些初级的课程。
And with the inspiration or encouragement of Ramapad Maharaj, we're now expanding that. Sorry, you're muted again, Govinda Nandini. I don't know what happened.
那么在Ramapad Maharaj 的鼓励和激励下，这个 Karuna Care 的项目也在中国展开。
So we're very happy to have Rambaru Mataji helping us in that regard.
所以我们非常高兴看到 Mataji 来到中国来帮助我们进行奉献者关爱的培训。
She certainly has the experience both within ISKCON and without ISKCON to give proper care.
那么他不仅在伊斯康内部，包括在伊斯康之外，他都非常有这方面的经验，知道怎么样去为奉献者、为人们提供关爱。
From her own spiritual practice for the last 50 years, and then from her professional training also.
那么这其中包括了他在我们奉献者 Krishna 之水当中的一些经验，以及他在这个关爱他人方面所得到的技能，都可以分享给我们中国的奉献者。
So we aim to have these talks once a month on different related topics.
那么我们现在讨论的是，我们可以每个月给中国的奉献者来做一次这样的公开课。
And this is the first one.
那么今天是我们的第一堂课。
And for those of you who don't know, your translator is Govinda Nandini Devi Dasi.
那么今天的翻译呢是 Govinda Nandini。
She came to Krishna consciousness in Shanghai. As you can see, she is Chinese.
那么她是在上海加入 Krishna 知觉的，她
And a
是
few,
中国人。
对. And a few years ago, she moved to Italy with her family.
那么几年之前，她和她的家人移居到了意大利。
But she's, as I know, she's still connected with various devotee groups in China, particularly in Shanghai. And they have regular reading groups and such and such.
那么但是她还是始终和中国的奉献者保持着联系，尤其是和上海的一些奉献者，也包括和中国的一些奉献者也在做一些共同学习的这样的小组。
And she is helping to coordinate this effort.
那么她是在负责协调这个 Karuna Care 在中国进行讲课培训的这个项目。
And she is the translator also.
那么今天来负责给大家做这个翻译。
So thank you, Mataji. You can go ahead. I'm done.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to share the screen so you can see a PowerPoint. In just a second. You can let me know you can all see that.
Yes.
Okay. So welcome to the yoga of listening.
那么欢迎今天我们大家一起来要聆听关于聆听的瑜伽，这是我们今天的主题。
Okay. So hearing is different from listening.
那么我们知道听到和聆听是不一样的。
It's a physical activity.
听到呢，它是一个身体的行为，身体的活动。
Our ears register sounds that are sent to our brain, and that we call hearing.
那么听到呢，是声音记录在我们的大脑当中。
Hearing is an important way we connect with the world around us.
那么这个听到呢，是我们跟外在世界保持联系的一种方式。
But just because we can physically hear does not mean we are understanding what those sounds truly mean.
但是我们只是外在的听到的这个声音，并不代表我们真正的理解了这个声音的含义。
Hearing is something that happens to us.
这个听到呢，只是这个声音自动的来到了我们这里。
Listening is something we choose to participate in.
而聆听呢，是我们有选择的去参与。
To hear something asks very little of us.
只是听到，不需要我们做什么。
To listen places our entire being on notice.
而聆听，则需要我们投入全部的身心。
Listening is a skill and an art that requires discipline.
那么，聆听它是一个艺术，而且它需要我们的规范，需要我们约束自己。
Research shows that people spend about 9% of their time writing.
有研究显示，人们花了9%的时间来读书，来阅读。
16% of their time reading.
I'm sorry, 9%
in writing, like writing.
I'm sorry, 因为花了9%的时间来写作，而16%的时间用来阅读。
And 16% of their time reading.
16%的时间用来阅读。
30% speaking.
30%的时间用来讲话。
And about 45% listening to communicate with others.
而花了45%的时间用来和他人沟通、聆听。
This means that most of us are not very skilled at listening.
这表明我们大多数人都不太擅长聆听。
So of the 9 processes of devotional service, Shravanam, hearing, is most important.
在奉爱服务的9项程序当中 ，Shravanam 聆听是最重要的。
Without hearing, nobody can understand the science of God.
不聆听，没有人能够了解神的科学。
Krishna consciousness is received through the ears.
Krishna 知觉是通过耳朵来获得的，通过耳朵的聆听来获得的。
And unless we listen submissively, we cannot hear or understand the meaning of the spiritual or transcendental messages coming our way.
如果我们没有谦恭的聆听的话，我们就不能够理解这个通过超然知识，通过聆听所获得的超然知识。
Eyes see only light, ears hear only sound, but a listening heart perceives meaning.
眼睛只是看到形象，耳朵听到声音，但聆听的心感受得到意义。
Listening is the primary form of education.
而聆听是最首要的一个教育的方式。
As students, we spend between 45 and 75% of our time in school listening.
那么作为学生，我们在学校里花了42%到72%的时间来学习。
And for the rest of our lives, we spend large amounts of time listening as part of our work.
而在其他的时间，我们大多数的时候都是在聆听当中进行的。
In our families and in our social activities.
在我们的家庭生活以及我们的社会活动当中，都是其他的时间大多数都是花在聆听上的。
And although most of our waking hours are spent listening, there are 50,000 while there's 50,000 listed courses on speaking in American universities, there's only a handful of courses on listening.
那么在美国的大学当中，有近5万的课程是在讲如何讲话，而非常少的在讲如何聆听。
So we don't learn from talking, we learn from listening.
所以我们不是通过说来学习，而是通过听来学习的。
And this is the primary process of devotional service.
这也是奉爱服务当中最首要的一项服务。
To listen submissively, which means with an open heart.
去恭顺的聆听，意味着我们应该用开放的心来聆听。
So research shows that after a 10-minute oral presentation, most people only remember 50% of what they heard or what was said.
调查表明，当人们听过一个讲话之后，10分钟之后，他们记住50%的内容。
Within 48 hours, their memory of what was said drops by another 50%.
而在过了48小时之后，这个他所记住的内容又下降了50%。
So this means that only about 25% of what is said by any speaker is actually remembered or actually understood.
这表明一个讲话的人，他讲的内容只有25%是被人们记下来的。
This means that whatever I am presenting to you right now, you will either not fully understand or you will completely forget in the next few hours.
那么这表明我现在所讲的内容，在过几个小时之后，你可能只能记住很少的一部分，或者已经忘了很多了。
So devotees often ask Srila Prabhupada, why do you keep saying over and over the same things in your lectures?
所以帕布帕德的门徒经常问帕布帕德说：“为什么您不断的重复说着同样的话？”
You're not your body. You're not your body. You're not your body.
您不断的重复说你不是这个身体，你不是这个身体，你不是这个身体。
And Prabhupada would say, because you have not understood it yet, so you need to keep hearing it.
那么帕布帕德会说，因为你们还没有理解啊，所以我就必须不断的在说。
So Krishna expanded himself into so many living beings because he wanted to experience himself in a loving relationship with us.
Krishna 把自己扩展成了很无数的这个生物体，因为他希望能够跟我们进行爱情的交流。
Krishna is yearning for our love.
Krishna 渴望得到我们的爱。
God's deep longing for more of our hearts is the same passion God wants us to have for him.
神深深的爱着我们，就像他想要我们深深的爱他一样。
And love can only be experienced if it is voluntarily given and received in a mutual exchange between two or more persons.
那么爱呢，是两个或者更多的人他们之间，以一种爱的方式来进行给予和接受。
Krishna loves each one of us as if there were only one of us, because he is a person living within the core of each of our hearts as our witness, guide, and best friend.
Krishna 爱我们每一个人，就好像我们是所有人当中的唯一，就好像我们只有我们一个人一样，因为他住在我们每个人的心中。
He is simply waiting and hoping we will give him our love and attention.
他只是在等待着我们，希望我们去给予他同样的爱和关注。
And in order for us to enter into a loving relationship with Krishna, we need to learn how to hear his voice within the core of our hearts.
那么，为了去建立与 Krishna 的爱情关系，我们需要去聆听他在每一个人的内心当中向我们发出的信息。
And we have to hear his voice in the voices of other living beings.
我们需要从其他人那里去听到他的声音。
And this requires some discipline because it is hard work to truly listen and hear God speaking to us through our hearts and the hearts of other people.
所以这需要我们去约束规范自己，因为我们其实很难去听到我们内在 Krishna 向我们发出的声音，以及通过其他人向我们发出的声音。
And that is why the discipline of listening submissively for Krishna's voice is yoga.
所以，我们有约束自己，去聆听 Krishna 的声音，这就是瑜伽。
Because the word yoga literally means to connect the soul with the supreme soul.
因为瑜伽这个词的意思是去把个体灵魂和至尊的灵魂连接起来。
And this includes connecting ourselves with the supreme soul of other living beings by listening from our hearts.
所以这也包括了通过去聆听我们内在的can you repeat? I'm sorry.
This includes connecting ourselves with the supreme soul in other living beings by listening with our own hearts.
这也表明通过
We're listening to God's voice in other people.
就是说也表明我们需要去聆听，从其他人那里去聆听Krishna 向我们发出的声音，去保持我们个体灵魂和 Krishna 之间的连接。
And just like any yoga practice, the sacred art of listening requires lots of practice and some skills.
所以要去练习这个，去聆听神圣的声音，需要我们进行大量的学习这个技术。
When we listen from our hearts, We are listening only with the purpose of understanding what the other person is saying.
当我们去聆听其他的人的时候，我们其实应该去聆听其他人向我们表达的意义。
We are not listening in order to judge or advise them.
我们聆听的目的不是为了去评判、去建议。
We listen as a means of joining them with them in their spiritual journey.
我们聆听是为了去加入他们，和他们一起进行一场灵性之旅。
By being a compassionate witness to their lives.
去成为他们生活当中的一个充满了同情和同理心的这样一位聆听者。
In the same way that the Lord is living in our hearts as our witness and friend, our relationships with others become service when we represent the Lord by being a compassionate, listening presence, witness, and friend in their lives.
就像神他作为一个见证者在观察着我们，那么当我们去聆听其他人的时候，我们也应该去观察，以不评判的心态去聆听其他人。
So in the Hare Krishna movement, we tend to talk a lot about unconditional love.
在 Krishna 知觉的运动当中，我们谈到了很多关于没有条件的爱、无条件的爱。
But a person who truly loves Krishna is an example of love by always striving to serve the Lord's devotees.
但是那些真正爱 Krishna 的人，他们通过他们努力的去服务主的奉献者，向我们展示了什么是真正的爱。
In a lecture on the nectar of devotion, Srila Prabhupada explains that in the lower stages of Krishna consciousness, a devotee is more concerned with worshiping the deity than they are in caring for the devotees.
在奉爱的甘露当中，帕布帕德解释说，那些处在奉爱初级阶段的人，他们会把更多的精力放在崇拜神像上，而不是去关爱奉献者。
But when they make more advancement, they can see how Krishna is in the heart of all devotees, and therefore they strive to serve them in any way they can.
那么当他们不断在 Krishna 知觉道路上不断进步的时候，他们就会越来越把注意力放在这个去关注、照顾其他的奉献者身上。
In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it explains that if a devotee arrives while a person is worshiping the deity, they should stop their worship and immediately care for the devotee.
在奉爱的甘露，在纯粹奉爱的甘露之阳当中，他解释说，如果一个奉献者来了，那么当一个人正在崇拜神像的时候，他应该马上停下来，立刻的去服务这位奉献者。
The servant leaders serve others, so others are free to serve others.
一个服务型的领袖，他服务其他人，以使其他人能够更好的服务更多的人。
Krishna is more satisfied when a devotee worships his devotee than the person who is worshiping his deity.
服务 Krishna 的奉献者比服务 Krishna 的神像更令 Krishna 满意。
Prabhupada explains that if we are sincerely listening to the Lord in our hearts as super soul, we receive guidance how to grow our love for Krishna.
帕布帕德解释说，如果我们真诚的聆听作为超灵居于我们心中的主，我们就会得到他的指导。他会告诉我们如何培养对 Krishna 的爱。
Because Krishna is the source of all life and all love. When
因为
we focus,
Krishna,
yeah, go ahead.
当 Krishna 是所有生命、所有爱的源头。
When we focus our minds and hearts on his presence within our hearts and the hearts of all living beings, we naturally become more and more capable of loving other people.
当我们把我们所有的把我们的心意和心都专注于处在我们内心当中，以及所有生物体的内心当中的主的时候，我们自然就能够越来越多的去爱其他人。
We can see our relationship to Krishna through them.
我们可以通过他们去看到我们跟 Krishna 的关系。
When we truly love Krishna by chanting his holy name with all of our hearts, then our hearts grow to become able to perceive God's presence in the hearts of all people.
当我们通过去全心全意的去念诵他的圣名，去真正爱 Krishna 的时候，我们的心就能够去感受到神的存在，它存在于所有生物体的心中。
And we understand that just as we have a personal relationship with Krishna, every other person has their own unique personal relationship with Krishna as well.
我们知道，就正如我们和 Krishna 有一个个人的关系，那么每一个人和 Krishna 也都有一个特定的关系。
The pranama mantra that we pray to Srila Prabhupada means you are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism.
我们向圣帕布帕德祈祷的祷文表明，想要表示的是，说帕布帕德在仁慈的将主 Chaitanya 的讯息传递给西方，因为西方世界充满了非人格主义和虚无主义。
So although we're using the word Western country, I think it's true to say or to assume that the world itself is overwhelmed by impersonalism and voidism due to some materialistic consciousness. I think that's true everywhere.
那么，对，我不光是西方国家是充满了非人格主义和虚无主义，其实整个世界都是充满了虚无主义和这个非人格主义和虚无主义。
And he said that he established ISKCON so people could engage in Rupa Goswami's 6 loving exchanges as a cure for this impersonalism and voidism that is so rampant in Kali Yuga.
他说，他建立ISKCON的目的是为了让人们从事 Rupa Goswami 所提到的6项爱心服务，把这6项爱心服务作为去克服或者去救治在这个卡利年代里如此猖獗的非人格主义和虚无主义这个疾病。
So these 6 loving exchanges, I realize, are actually 3 processes for mutually engaging in reciprocal relationships.
那么这6项爱心服务呢，其实是3组人们之间可以进行的一种爱心交流的活动。
The first 2, the first 2 go together, revealing our minds in confidence and listening to a person reveal their mind to us in confidence.
那么第一组呢，就是去向他人去吐露我们的心声，以及就接受他人的吐露心声，去聆听他人的心声。
Basically, what this means is engaging in heart-connecting conversations with other people.
那么基本上他的意思就是要和其他人进行心心相连的这样的活动，这样的一个谈话。
I listen deeply to you share what is on your heart with no other purpose than to understand and care about you.
那么我去深深的去聆听你跟我分享的东西，目的呢，只是想要去理解你，去关心你。
And you listen to me share what's on my heart with the only purpose being to understand and care about me.
那么你来聆听我的心声，唯一的目的也只是来理解我，来关心我。
We give each other focused attention, not being distracted by our cell phones or anything else going on around us.
我们把全部的注意力都放在对方身上，不受到任何手机啊或者其他事物的打扰。
For this moment, we are simply there for each other.
在这一刻，我们只是和对方在一起。
Now, the word confidence in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, I don't know if there's a Chinese correspondent, but anyway, in the American dictionary, literally translates as having trust in another person.
在伟达字典当中，这个信心，它的字面的意思就是对其他人相信其他人。
So in the context of these two loving exchanges, it assumes that we can trust the other person to keep what we share confidential.
那么在我们讨论这这一组爱心服务、爱心交流的活动当中，我们可以认为我们是相信对方能够把我们所分享给他的保密不会泄露给其他人。
That means it is not going on social media tomorrow or being shared with anyone else without our permission.
这也表明我们所分享的内容不会在第二天被登上 Facebook， 也不会在没有得到允许的情况下被分享给其他人。
Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh explains that deep listening is the kind of listening that can help relieve the suffering of another person.
禅师释一行解释说，深度的聆听就是我们带着一个目的来聆听，帮助对方把心清空，从而缓解他的痛苦。
You listen with only one purpose, to help them empty their heart.
你聆听的目的只有一个，就是帮他们把心空。
Best-selling author of Mind Over Medicine, Dr. Lissa Rankin, says, Every time you tell your story and someone else who cares listens to it, you turn off the body's stress hormones and turn on the body's relaxation and healing hormones.
有一位畅销书的作者，这个书叫Mind Over Medicine.
That's the name of a book.
就是 Yes, that 去心意I don't know how to translate this.
Well, she just says that whenever you're listening, you're telling your story and someone is deeply listening, it totally shuts off the stress and creates a relaxation sensation in your bodies.
那么他主要讲到的就是当一个人能够去认真的去聆听他人的时候，他就可以帮对方释放掉他的这个紧张的这种情绪。所以Lissa Rankin 这个医生 Dr. Lissa Rankin 他就说，每一次当你向他人去讲述你的故事，然后他人呢也是非常耐心的去聆听你的故事的时候，你身体的这个压力的荷尔蒙就会关闭，而身体的这个放松和疗愈的荷尔蒙就会开启。
It activates our self-healing functions in our bodies and is a treatment when we get sick.
它其实是开启了我们的这个疗愈的身体自我疗愈的功能，所以它是一种治疗，它可以治愈人们。
Being listened to with care relaxes our nervous system and helps heal our mind of things like depression, anxiety, fear, anger, and feelings of disconnection.
当有人怀着关爱来聆听你的时候，它可以释放掉我们的这个，让我们的神经系统得到放松，然后去治愈我们心意当中的比如抑郁啊、焦虑啊、恐惧、愤怒和一种感觉不到连接的情绪。
When we take time to listen to others with compassionate care, we're actually contributing to each other's physical, mental, and spiritual health.
当我们付出时间，带着怜悯之心和关爱去聆听他人时，我们不仅在帮助他人，也在帮助自己获得身心灵的健康。
So let's look at how best to engage the other two loving exchanges, two more.
那么我们
Offering
再来，
Go ahead.
那我们再来看一下下面的两组爱心交流。
Offering gifts in charity and accepting charitable gifts.
去给予礼物和接受礼物。
When we hear this, we typically think of giving and receiving gifts like a flower garland, maybe some incense, maybe some clothing, or some mahaprasadam.
当我们在谈到这个给予礼物和接受礼物的时候，通常我们想到的就是给花环啊，给一袋这个香啊，或者一些衣服啊，或者是 mahaprasadam。
And they are great gifts to give and receive.
当然，他们是给予和接受礼物的很好的一个选择。
But the most valuable gift we can give and receive from each other is the gift of time.
但是我们其实能够给到别人最宝贵的东西，最宝贵的礼物，就是我们的时间。
Time is our most precious gift because we only have a limited amount of it.
时间是我们最宝贵的礼物，因为我们每个人的时间都是有限的。
We can make more money, but we cannot make more time.
我们可以赚更多的钱，但是我们不能制造更多的时间。
When we give someone our time, we are giving them a portion of our life that we will never get back.
当我们给他人我们的时间的时候，其实是我们把我们生命的一部分都给到了其他人，而这个部分是我们永远都不能够再要回来的。
Our time is our life energy.
我们的时间就是我们的生命能量。
And loving relationships require time and effort to create and maintain.
而爱心的关系需要我们花时间和精力去建造、去维系。
So the best thing we can exchange with each other in devotional life is the gift of our time.
所以我们能够给到对方最好的与对方进行爱心交流的方式，就是给予我们的时间。
So Krishna says, charity performed with the expectation of some return or with a desire for fruitive results or in a grudging mood is said to be charity in the mode of passion.
Krishna 说，当我们怀着希望对方得到对方回报，或者是希望获得功利性活动的结果，或者是一种不情愿的心态去给予布施的时候，这样的布施都被称为是激情心态的布施。
The law of giving and receiving is simple. If we want love, we have to give love.
那么给予和接受的这个法则非常简单。如果我们想要爱，那么就去给予爱。
If we want attention and appreciation, we have to give attention and appreciation to others.
如果我们想要得到别人的关注和欣赏，那么我们就把关注和欣赏给到别人。
If we want respect, we have to give respect to other people.
如果我们想要得到尊敬，那么我们就先把尊敬给到别人。
If we want to be served, we have to serve others.
如果我们想要别人服务我们，我们先要服务别人。
The more we give, the more we will receive.
我们给的越多，我们得到的越多。
Even just thinking of giving or the thought of blessing someone else or praying for someone has the power to bless them and ourselves.
即使只是想到要给予别人，或者想到想要祝福别人，或者是为他人祈祷，都有很大的力量，可以去祝福到其他人。
So let's look at the final loving exchanges.
我们现在来看一下最后的一组爱心交流。
Giving and receiving prasadam or sanctified food cooked in love and offered to Krishna.
给予和接受 prasadam，怀着爱心并供奉给 Krishna 的神圣的食物。
Now, this loving exchange is really talking about sharing a meal with another devotee.
那么这个爱心交流，其实谈论的是和另外一个奉献者一起来荣耀 prasadam， 一起来进餐。
It does not simply mean to eat food at the same place at the same time.
这并不表明只是在同一个时间、同一个地点一起吃饭而已。
To grab a plate and eat and run like we sometimes do at the temple. We just grab our food and go.
那么通常人们只是说，拿到了就是大家一起吃个饭，然后就走人。
Sharing a meal is an opportunity for us to cultivate relationships, to nourish our souls as we nourish our bodies.
去共同进餐，其实是给我们创造了一个很好的机会，来去培养我们之间的关系，去滋养我们的灵魂，就像食物会滋养我们的身体一样。
So when we go to a devotee's home and we eat together with them, the devotees who are giving us their food are also giving us their hearts.
所以当我们去到奉献者的家里和他们一起吃饭的时候，其实奉献者他在给我们食物的同时，他其实也是在把他们的心交给我们。
The food has been cooked in love and devotion, and now we are taking this sacred food deep inside our bodies, which is a spiritual experience.
那么食物是怀着爱和奉爱来烹饪的，而当我们进食这个神圣的食物的时候，这其实是一种灵性的体验。
And the Lord inside our hearts also becomes joyful when he sees us sharing a sacred meal with other devotees.
当主看到我们在和其他的奉献者一同进食这个神圣的食物的时候，他也会感到非常的快乐。
It is devotional service.
这就是奉爱服务。
When we share prasadam with other devotees, it is also an opportunity to share what's on our hearts.
当我们在和其他奉献者一起荣耀 prasadam 的时候，这也是非常好的机会，让我们去分享我们内心的，去分享我们的内心。
To share our personal struggles and celebrations in our spiritual journey and receive compassionate care and support.
是分享我们在灵性之旅当中经历的挑战和成功，获得他人的怜悯之心、关爱和支持的机会。
So these three mutual loving exchanges are sharing with each other what's on our hearts in confidence, trusting that it will not be told to others. That's number one.
所以我们再来总结一下这3项爱心交流服务交流的活动。第一个呢，就是把内心的向 他人去分享我们的内心，那么相信对方不会把我们所分享的泄露给其他人。
Number 2, sharing with each other our precious time and listening to each other with compassionate care.
第二条呢，就是把我们宝贵的时间与他人分享，去怀着同理心去聆听他人。
And 3, sharing with each other our stories of spiritual progress and struggles while sharing a sacred food meal.
第三条呢，是当我们一起进食神圣的食物的时候，我们去分享，向他人分享我们灵性当中的进步和挑战。
All of these 6 loving exchanges invite us to become heart-connecting listeners of each other.
所有这6项爱心服务，都是在让我们有机会去和他人去做一个心心相连的沟通，去聆听他人。
They all boil down to providing each other compassionate listening care.
他们的精髓就是给到对方我们的这个同理心，我们带有同理心的聆听和关爱。
And this sacred listening is an art and a science.
而这神圣的聆听是一门艺术，也是一门科学。
Engaging in heart-connecting conversation is a different way of listening and speaking than how we engage in mundane social conversations.
进行心心相连的对话，跟我们世俗的这种社交对话是不一样的，它是完全另外一种形式的聆听和交谈。
Social conversations are typically focused on topics outside of one's body.
通常世俗的谈话讨论的话题就是和身体之外的东西。
Like the weather, or gossiping about other people, or complaining about some external circumstances like the news or politics or something else.
比如天气，或者是对谈论其他人的家长里短，或者是对某个外在的环境进行抱怨，比如政治新闻等等。
Compassionate listening conversations are serving another person by giving them our care and support.
带有同理心的聆听，这样的对话是我们把我们的关照和支持给到对方，来服务对方。
It is about offering our humble obeisances to the Lord within the heart of another person, which is the literal meaning of the greeting Namaste. I bow to the Lord in your heart.
它是我们向对方心中的主致以我们谦卑的禀拜。那么这也是 Namaste 它的字面的含义，就是我向你心中的主禀拜。
So God loves each of us as if there were only one of us, because he is a person who lives within the temple of our hearts and the temple of the hearts of all other people.
神爱我们每一个人，就好像只有我们一个人一样，因为他住在我们心中的庙宇当中，也住在所有人心中的庙宇中。
Engaging in heart-connecting relationships through compassionate listening is a yoga practice.
通过带有同理心的聆听，去从事心心相连的，去建立心心相连的关系，这就是一种瑜伽修行。
If we truly want to know Krishna in truth, our hearts have to be pure and all our actions must be inspired by love.
如果我们真正想要去了解 Krishna 的真相，我们的心必须是很纯净的，我们的活动必须是带着爱来做的。
Krishna says that one who is not envious of me, but who is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think of himself a proprietor, who is free from false ego and equal both in happiness and distress, who is always satisfied and engaged in devotional service with determination, and whose mind and intelligence are in agreement with me, he is very dear to me.
Krishna 在博家梵歌当中说：“不怀嫉妒，做众生的良友，不以拥有者自居，远离假我，不乐如意，永远满足，善于自律，坚决地从事奉爱服务，心意和智慧都专注于我。这样的奉献者，我很珍爱。”
So as Prabhupada's ISKCON continues to grow, we want it to grow into a community of care where the whole world can live.
随着帕布帕德的 ISKCON 不断的壮大，我们希望这个团体能够建设成为一个整个世界都可以安居其中的社团。
Okay, thank you very much. I'll stop here. And if anybody has any questions,
我就讲到这里
comments,
我就讲到这里，看看大家有什么
reflections. Maybe people have a question. Maybe they have something they'd like to say just to reflect on something.
那么看看大家现在有什么想要分享的或者问题。
So should we go to gallery view? I'd like to see.
大家可以把这个屏幕放成这个 gallery， 这个模式啊。
Yeah, you can put your hand up, maybe.
然后如果有大家想提问的话，也可以直接举手啊。
Electronic hand, they know maybe, and they can put up. If they have comment, maybe they what their new insights are. Yeah.
等一下，我看到这个 chat 里面有。Yeah, I see some questions.
I don't see a hand, but maybe the okay.
Yeah, I see one question in the chat. Hare Krishna, 非常非常感恩 Ramburu Mataji 如沐春风的讲课，听了您的讲课，心都融化了。顶拜 Mataji 的莲花足，顶拜怀着爱心精准的翻译的 Mataji， 顶拜聚会的奉献者的莲花足。当我们感受到被深深的伤害时，要找到一位可靠的聆听者并不容易，我们更愿意自己去消化伤痛。我们应该如何从自己的角度，而不是从他人的角度去化解自己内心的伤痛。Hare Krishna, thank you very much for Ramburu Mataji, your lecture, very pleasant lecture. And listening to your lecture, my heart is melted. My obeisances to your lotus feet, and also my obeisances to the translating Mataji, with your accurate translation. Also my obeisances to the lotus feet of all the assembled devotees. When we feel we are hurt deeply, it's very difficult to find a reliable listener. We'd rather to digest the pain by ourselves. So how can we overcome or solve our pains from our own perspective instead of from others' perspective?
It's always your perspective. Even if someone's listening to you, it's always your perspective that you're healing your pain.
那么当他人在聆听你的时候，其实你去化解你的伤痛，仍然是从你自己的角度，而不是从他人的角度。
And it's very difficult to find a person who can listen. This is not an easy thing to find someone who knows how to listen.
Yes, 那么也是确实要找到一个人能够聆听你的人是很不容易的。
Most people are very uncomfortable hearing the pain of other people.
当一般的人，他听到别人讲他们的伤痛的时候，他也会觉得不舒服的。
So you have to test people out to see if they are able to hold your story.
所以我们需要去检测一下，对方是不是能够承受你讲你的故事。
Will you test them out by sharing a little bit and see what they do with that little bit?
你可以跟他们分享一点点，然后看他们的反应，看他们能不能接受。
If they start trying to teach you or change your mind about things, then they're not the right person to listen.
如果他们呢听了你分享了一点之后，就开始要教育你，给你建议的话，这表明他们不是一个很好的聆听者。
If they listen to understand and to support you and help you find your solutions, then maybe this is a good listener.
如果他试着去理解你，然后帮助你自己去找到解决的办法，那么这样的人才是适合的。
If you don't see anyone in your world that is trustworthy to listen, you should write a journal.
但如果你发现你周围没有这样一个合适的人选的话，你就可以写一个日记一样，把你的感受写下来。
Express your feelings in writing. That's a very good way of processing. Yeah.
通过写作的方式把你的情绪表达出来，这也是一个非常好的方式。
Yeah. Is that all right?
这样回答可以吗？I see Chandrasekhar has raised your hand.
Yes, just a practical question, Mataji. I see it seems like only 100 participants. This is a practical question. It seems like only 100 participants can join.
Really?
那么我想提的是一个比较实际的问题。我看到现在我们群里只有100个人可以加入。
Is your Zoom only 100 people?
It should be 250, 300. I have that
这
level.
是不是表明您的这个 Zoom 号只能够容纳100个人呢？但玛塔基说应该能够容纳200-300个人的。不知道今天是怎么回事。
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it just got stuck at 100. I am presuming, yeah, but anyway.
I'll have to go back to my settings, but I feel pretty sure I have that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mataji, could you speak a bit more about, as you mentioned, and as the devotee just also mentioned, it's difficult to find people to listen.
Yeah.
And in the absence of that, sorry.
那么我想继续提一个问题，您刚才也谈到了说，要找到一个能够信任的聆听者非常不容易。
So in the absence of that, you just mentioned about writing a journal. Could you expand upon that a bit more? How does it work that by writing your feelings, how does that help with some healing? Could you share that in some more detail?
Yes.
Yes. Can you wait?
Yes.
I'm sorry. 那么您刚才提到了，如果找不到一个可以信赖的聆听者的话，我们可以通过写作的方式，写日记的方式。那么您能不能就这一点再做一些扩展？我们应该怎么写，怎么来操作这一点？
If we have strong feelings, like feelings of grief or trauma, underneath which is grief.
那么如果我们有如果我们有很强烈的情绪啊，有很强烈的伤痛啊，或者创伤的话
if we don't process those feelings, and hold them in, and don't ever express them out either through writing or talking or some other medium, our feelings will not go away. They just get stuck in our nervous system and come out as physical illnesses and also mental illnesses like depression, suicidal ideations, and other things. Yeah.
所以如果我们的这些强烈的情绪没有得到处理的话，它们不会自动消失，它们会沉积在我们的内心当中，然后会以某些疾病的方式展示出来，或者会以某些比如很抑郁等等一些很负面的情绪展示出来。
So it's really important. They've done research on writing for people who, they're too intimidated to talk, or they don't have anybody to talk to, they have found that even people who are terribly traumatized, when you write, it unspaghettis, it knits back the sanskaras, these impressions that we have in our brain, and helps to heal them just by writing our feelings on paper. They've done, somebody named Pennebaker, he has done enormous research on that. And for young people, writing their feelings and how their grades go up, their mental health goes up just by expressing on paper.
那么只是通过把我们的情绪通过写作的方式写下来，可以有很大的帮助，可以帮助我们去化解内心当中的很多的伤痛。那么也有很多研究表明了这一点。有一位研究者叫 Pepper，what is the name?
Pennebaker, it doesn't matter. Just some professor, it doesn't matter who he is.
他也做了一个调查，那么有些年轻人他通过写作的方式来化解他的情绪，那么结果就是他们的学习成绩有很大的提高。
Now, just another point, this is really interesting, that the Los Angeles Department of Mental Health, and we have like a whole national network of mental health organizations, they have understood that the cause of all mental illnesses is isolation and loneliness.
那么在洛杉矶的一个精神病方面的一个机构，他就在谈到了这个心理健康的时候，他就说到，其实人们心理健康的最大的这个原因就是人们的这个感觉到被隔绝、被隔离 ，isolation and loneliness 和孤独，就是被隔绝和孤独的感觉。
So to heal that, they've also discovered more powerful than one-on-one counseling, psychotherapy, is sharing one's feelings in small, caring communities, in small groups. You're talking 5 or 6 people, not more.
他们就讲到了，其实相对于1对1的这样对话的治疗方式，即使在一个小组、小范围里面去分享各自的故事，更加有效。
So they become like surrogate or corrective families, little small groups, caring, listening circles. We make listening circles.
所以这样一个小范围的这样交流，就像一个家庭一样。
Because in Kali Yuga, yeah, go ahead.
我们也会组建这样一个小的聆听的群体，然后去彼此来聆听。
Because in Kali Yuga, many of us have come from dysfunctional or broken families.
因为在这个年代里面，其实我们很多人的家庭都是属于破裂的家庭，或者是家庭不太幸福的。
And that comes with another set of problems later in life.
而这个家庭呢，这样的家庭就造成了未来的很多的问题。
So, when we're looking for appropriate people to listen, it really requires some training, to have a community of caring people who know how to listen.
所以我们在寻找很恰当的聆听者的时候，其实是很难，因为这样的聆听其实是需要培训、需要技术的。
Yeah, so it's not, you can't, in the middle of the prasadam hall while you're taking a lunch or having a festival, that's not the proper time now to sit down and start to open one's heart necessarily in a public event.
那么在公众的场合，比如我们大家在聚会的时候一起荣耀 prasadam 这样的场合，其实并不适合向对方敞开心扉，讲我们的故事。
So in Karuna Care, we have a sacred space. We have a get help button. People can come and they have a opportunity to be listened to maybe someone they do not know from another country, and they can share their story and be listened to. And if they need more help, we have a whole referral system in the Bhaktivedanta Medical Association and Global Healthcare Team, and we have a whole team, international team of psychotherapists and specialists of various kinds who deal with trauma. But it starts with, even if some of our devotees need more help, the psychiatrists and psychotherapists say, they still need to have that support of being listened to, have a place to talk. So we make circles.
所以我们会建立一些这个小的群体、小组，然后创造一种神圣的空间，大家可以敞开心扉的去分享自己的这个内心。有的时候这个群体里面可能大家并不认识，那也没有关系。然后我们可以去分享我们的故事，然后也可以去聆听其他的人。其实我们有很多这样的群体，可以给到大家这样的支持。I'm sorry. Can you make your sentence shorter? Otherwise, I cannot remember all you said.
Okay. Anything else?
还有一个问题，我看到是 Krishnamrita 的提问。顶拜玛塔吉，顶拜翻译和奉献者家人，听了您甜美的讲解，非常受益，感恩。我每天早上边听课边给家人准备早餐，是可以供奉 Krishna 的早餐，这样合适吗？是不是应该只专注于早餐呢？感恩。My obeisances to you, Ramburu Mataji, obeisances to the translator and all the devotees. I feel I got a lot of benefits from your sweet lecture. My gratitude. Every morning I prepare the breakfast for my family while listening to lectures. The breakfast is to be offered to Krishna. I'm doing this. Is it right for me to do this while preparing the dinner, listening to the lectures? Should I focus on my attention on preparing the breakfast?
I was a cook for 35 years for the devotees.
那么我其实为奉献者做饭做了35年了。
And as Rupa Goswami said, the consciousness of the cook goes in the food.
就像 Rupa Goswami 说的，这个厨师他的知觉会进入到食物当中。
It's very helpful to have some transcendental sound vibration going in the ears when you're cooking, lectures or music.
当我们在做饭的时候，如果有一些超然的声音能够进入到我们的大脑当中的话，这是很有帮助的。比如说
So I personally do it and think it's very helpful.
所以我个人也是这么做的，边做饭边听课的，我觉得是很有帮助的。
Yeah.
Vaikuntha Voice 说 Janaka Prabhu 在腾讯会议转播了本次会议，课后可以请 Mataji 看着人数设置是否可以调整。感恩您的精彩讲课，非常温暖人心。Janaka Prabhu has because the limited number of this room, so Janaka Prabhu has, how to say, transmit the meeting to another platform, so many people, other people can listen. So after the class, please, Mataji, can you adjust the setting to allow more people to come in? So thank you very much for your excellent speech, very warming, very pleasant. Sati Mataji 说 Hare Krishna 顶拜 Ramburu Mataji 的美妙讲课，顶拜所有聚会的奉献者。当我们付出时间去聆听对方的时候，因为每个奉献者的知觉层面不同，所以就会听到很多物质生活方面的一些倾诉表达或者宣泄，有时候又不忍打断。但我们每个人的时间都是有限的，所以请问 Mataji， 我们如何让我们的时间利用率最大化呢？感恩。Hare Krishna. My obeisances to you and for your wonderful lecture. Also my obeisances to all the assembled devotees. When we spend some time to listen to others, because the consciousness of every devotee is different. So in many cases, we'll hear some expressions of from the material life, or some complaints, and sometimes we don't want to interrupt them when they say something material about their materialistic life, or have some complaints. But everyone's time is limited. So may I ask, how can we best use our time? Take the full advantage of our time. Thank you.
In terms of listening to someone.
Yeah. You know, some people may, when you listen to someone, the other may say something about their materialistic
Yes.
life, or
Yes.
have a lot of complaints, and they keep talking and talking.
Yeah.
You feel
Yeah.
your time is limited. So
Yeah. So there's a science behind listening.
所以在聆听的背后是有科学的。
There's something called active listening.
我们称它是主动的或者积极的聆听。
Not just
不只是 OK 听，好像听到了。
This is why we have Karuna Care, so we can train people how to listen in a way that is helpful to someone else.
所以这也是我们为什么要开办这个 Karuna Care 这样一个机构，其实是为了培训大家怎么样去聆听，才能够给到对方帮助。
So how do you take what you've described as a social conversation where there might be complaining and all kinds of personal issues? How do we move it into a compassionate listening care conversation? That's an art.
就是我们怎么样把我们的谈话从这个只是专注在一些物质的细节呀、去宣泄呀这些上，怎么把它能够转变成一种带有同理心的，能够去聆听，带有同理心的去聆听的这样一种对话，就把它上升到另外一个高度上。
The real problem is never the first thing a person says. There's always something deeper than that.
其实对方他说的那个东西并不是最重要的问题，往往是这个问题存在于他所说的这个更深的地方，就他的背后会有一些更深层次的问题。
The listener has to be trained or experienced in hearing the feelings. We have to be able to have an emotional intelligence to understand what the feelings they're trying to express, not the words.
所以聆听者他需要经过培训，去能够感受到这个讲话的人他的情绪是怎么样的，他要有这样一种智慧去感受到对方的情绪，知道对方的感受。
Yeah, that's why we're training people in how to name their feelings, because people don't know what a feeling is.
所以这就是为什么我们要培训奉献者去确定感受，确定他们的感受，就找出来说我现在到底是一种什么样的感受，让人们能够把它确定下来。
Yeah, the most important thing people want to hear another person say is to validate that they have been heard.
那么当一个人向对方去倾诉的时候，其实他最想要的是得到对方的肯定，得到对方就是说希望看到对方是听到了他的话。
It can be a simple response, I hear you. That must have been difficult for you. It sounds like this is a real challenge for you. Without having to get into the whole story, you can just respond with validation.
所以其实一个讲话的人，他最想听到的就是对方说我听到了你，我知道很不容易，我知道你很难之类的，他想要的就是这样一种回应，而不是你对他做任何的其他的评判呀或者建议啊等等。
Generally, people who are uncomfortable hearing other people's problems have a lot of problems they haven't looked at in themselves.
通常一个人如
That's why they're uncomfortable. They don't like to hear other people's problems because they have problems they haven't resolved in themselves.
通常一个人如果听到别人跟他倾诉，他会感觉到不舒服。原因是因为他自己内在就有很多的问题没有得到解决，所以当他听到别人分享这样的问题的时候，他会觉得很不舒服。
And it's not socially acceptable to have feelings in any society, what to speak of the Hare Krishna society.
其实在任何社团去让别人看到我的感受，或者是向别人去表达我的感受，都不是那么容易被接受的，更何况是我们这个 Hare Krishna 的社团。
Even though Bhakti is all about feelings, Bhakti Yoga is all about feelings.
虽然说奉爱瑜伽讲的其实都是感受。
Yeah.
Okay, the next question. 小小草说，顶拜玛塔吉和所有奉献者，聆听倾诉需要耗费很多时间。有些朋友在生活中的痛苦和困惑非常多，可能会一直不断找我们倾诉。但我们的每天的职责和服务很多，要如何安排时间去聆听？如何引导他们走出困惑？感恩您。My basis is to Mataji and all devotees. Listening to others takes a lot of time. Some people may have many pains and puzzles, and they may come to us to complain, to speak. But we have many responsibilities and services every day. So how can we arrange our time to listen to them? How can we guide them out of their difficulties?
Well, this
Thank
is
you.
one reason why we need a team. In every community, you need to have a couple of people trained to know how to really listen and be effective, you know.
所以这也是为什么我们一直在说要培训奉献者去聆听，然后建立一些小组，有一些经过培训的奉献者，来聆听大家。
But everybody, you know, as a fellow devotee, can at least say, yes, I would like to have time. Right now is not a good time. Let's schedule a time when we both have some freedom, maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes we can spend. There's an art to how you do this in a way that doesn't cause hurt to someone else by abandoning them when they have a need.
所以在我们怎么样安排时间，当我们要去有奉献者来找我们的时候，我们要去聆听他的时候，我们可以跟他们先确定一下时间。比如说我现在没空，那么我们可不可以安排在什么时候？我们哪怕谈15分钟。那么这个安排时间其实是一门艺术，是需要不断的练习的。
You have 3 types of relationships in Krishna consciousness. You have a relationship. Yeah. Go ahead.
在 Krishna 知觉当中，我们有3种关系。
You have the relationship with the person you seek knowledge from, that you perceive is more advanced than you.
那么第一种呢是那些比你更资深的、更精进的，你向他们去寻求知识。
And then you have the new person who needs help learning.
还有一些新人，那么他们是需要帮助的，需要学习的。
And then you have the person who is kind of a peer or maybe on the equal level with you in spiritual life.
还有一些人呢是跟你基本上同级的，在灵性层面上接近的。
And as a preaching mission, we all have a responsibility to help each other in spiritual life.
而作为我们传教使命的一部分，我们每个人其实都有责任去帮助对方。
It's not just about preaching and distributing books and all that's great, but when the people then come, because you've distributed the books, you have to also be available to help them learn.
所以我们不能只说去传教去派书，当我们派出了书，那么对方来找我们的时候，我们是要去关照他们的，
So
我
we
们
all
要去
have
帮
to,
助他们的。
yeah, we're all responsible for the new people and for each other to make sure we all go back to Godhead together.
所以我们有责任去帮助，相互帮助，然后大家一起回归守神。
Yeah. Sometimes we get very passionate in the mode of passion. We think it's, yeah, that's nice to do a lot of things, and we get busy with projects. But if our projects ignore our people, then you're not going to have many people to maintain those projects. People are really important.
那么有的时候我们的服务可能会处在畸形形态，我们就会想做很多的项目，非常忙碌啊，忙于这个忙于那个，然后我们会没有时间要去照顾奉献者，但实际上去关照奉献者，这也是我们的责任。
Yeah. It's helpful if a community has a regular time when people can share. This is why when you think of having prasadam together, it's a moment to, how are things going with you, and sharing for a few moments what's on your heart today.
所以在一个社团当中，最好是有一个有规律的时间，大家可以聚在一起来相互分享。比如说我们每周的这个聚会，大家吃饭的时候就可以聚在一起做一些分享，所以要找到一个规律的时间。
Yeah. It's a big topic. I'm not sure we'll get it all done tonight.
这是一个很大的话题，可能我们这么也上课的这么短的时间，我们没有办法做太多的扩展。Another question, Leela Kishori Mataji, Hare Krishna， 感恩 Mataji 甜美的讲课。您说最珍贵的给予是给予别人时间。当我们去和别人分享 Krishna 的话题，去激励别人或被激励时，就不会觉得浪费时间。但如果不得不听一些不听或说一些没用的话题时，过后就会觉得浪费时间，而心生评判，不想继续这种联谊。这听起来很自私，该如何调整这种心态？ Hare Krishna, thank you very much for your wonderful, sweet lecture. You said the most precious gift is the gift of your time. When we share Krishna Katha with others to inspire others or to be inspired, we will not feel it's a waste of time. But if we have to listen or speak about something not useful, afterwards we'll feel a waste of time and we will judge, have judgment. We don't want to continue this association. This sounds very selfish. How can I adjust this mood, this mentality?
So what is it that makes it a waste of time?
那么到底是什么让你觉得浪费时间了呢？ So,
Hare Krishna， 马塔姐，不好意思，就是觉得，因为我们在做一些，我们开瑜伽馆嘛，你很多时候要和别人说很多话，所以说就会觉得很浪费时间。
And because we have a yoga club, many times we have to talk to other people, and then our topics may cover many things. Then we'll feel a waste of time.
Well, in my long life of Krishna consciousness, I have found that Krishna is almost related to every topic that anybody can bring.
那么在我长
devotee.
那么在我长时间的修行过程当中，我发现其实所有的话题都是可以和 Krishna 连接起来的，无论是奉献者谈的，还是和非奉献者谈论的话题。
A skilled preacher knows how to take whatever topic is in the room and connect it with Krishna somehow.
一个有技巧的这个传教者，他知道怎么样能够把这个话题和 Krishna 连接起来。
My father met Srila Prabhupada for a conversation.
我的父亲有一次见到了帕布帕的，跟他谈话。
The first thing that Prabhupada asked my father was, "What do you do for work?"
那么帕布帕的问他的第一个问题就是：“您是做什么的
And my father said, "I'm a businessman." ？”
然后我的父亲说：“我是个商人。”
And Prabhupada said, "Well, Krishna consciousness movement is like a business."
那么帕布帕的说：“啊，Krishna 知觉就像一桩生意一样。”
So he talked about it, how in so many ways it's like a business.
然后他就讲到这个 Krishna 知觉怎么样是像一桩生意一样。
And then my father told him he had a daughter who left home and joined the movement.
然后我的父亲就跟他说：“我的女儿离开家了，然后加入了 Krishna 知觉运动。”
And she dropped out of university to join the Hare Krishna movement.
她从大学里辍学了，来加入到 Krishna 知觉运动。
And Prabhupada said, "Oh, well, the Hare Krishna movement is like a university."
然后帕布帕呢就说：“啊，Krishna 知觉运动就像个大学一样。”
So in this way, we have to listen to the people that we want to help to find where we connect with them.
所以在我们聆听其他的人的时候，我们要想办法，怎么样让他们和他们的话题和 Krishna 连接起来。
That's your job. If you're going to preach Krishna consciousness, you've got to find what is the thing that the person is interested in that you can connect them to Krishna.
所以当我们在传教，在和其他人谈话的时候，我们就是要想办法，怎么样把他们的话题和 Krishna 连接起来。其实这样是在帮助他们。
If Krishna is in every atom, you have to find that thing that relates.
如果 Krishna 在每一个原子当中，那么你就要去把所有的东西都和 Krishna 连接起来。
Yeah, that's what I do.
我就是这么做的。
Then it's not a waste of time.
那么这样就不是浪费时间。
Find out how Krishna is in the middle of that conversation. He's always there.
去发现 Krishna 如何存在于我们每一个对话当中。
Yeah.
Can I jump in here?
Sure.
Mataji, it's I mean it's entirely up to you, but it's 3:30 China time. I think it's 5:30 your time, or 6, and there's 5 or 6 questions left. So obviously you have things to do. How much more time do you want to go on for?
Well, it's now 5:30. I was spent giving allotting till 6 o'clock, 4 to 6.
Okay.
So
fine.
I'm all right.
Okay. No worries.
Yeah.
No need
there
to
are still
translate
some-
that. No need to translate
yeah,
that.
I know.
That was just a practical question. Fine.
Okay, we still have some questions on the
Okay.
chat, so we'll continue. Okay, Shamasundara Mataji said, "Dear Rama Brinkman Mataji, dear Ramburu Mataji, because you left this name. Thank you so much for your inspiring and healing talk. Very helpful and practical. Thank you, Chandrasekhar Prabhu, so much for the loving arrangement and the nice translator." 亲爱的 Ramburu Mataji， 非常感谢您富有启发，而且有这个疗愈作用的讲话，非常有帮助，非常实际。也感谢月亮帕布做出了这样有爱心的安排，感谢翻译。And this is not a comment, not a question. And the next Gati Prada said, 顶拜，亲爱的老师，感谢翻译。我想学习奉献者关爱的技能，请问有这方面的培训课吗？Basis to my beloved teacher. Thanks for the translator. I want to learn the skills of devotee care. Do you have any training course in this respect?
Yes, we do. We do.
我们有啊。
We have one Chinese devotee who has gone through all 3 intro courses, is now halfway through the practicum, and she lives in Australia.
那么我知道有一位中国奉献者，他现在是住在澳大利亚的。那么他上完了我的3门这个入门的课，然后现在 在第二个阶段的这个实践课呢，也上了一半了。
Yeah. So we hope to train a team of bilingual Chinese English devotees who can teach in a more fluid way than through translators and all. Try to
那
do
么其
that.
实我们也有想法，想要训练培训一批就是能够讲英文的中国的奉献者，然后他们再用自己的语言向更多的中国的奉献者去传播。
But there's 3 topics that everybody who's working with other people needs to understand. And that is, how does grief impact your spiritual life?
那么其实要想去关爱奉献者，有3个话题，有3个领域是需要了解的。第一个呢，就是关于伤痛对灵性进步的影响。
How do we understand emotions as
第二个呢，就是
messages? Yeah.
第二个呢，就是如何把我们的情绪去了解我们的情绪，把它看成是一个讯息，给到我们的讯息。
So that we can manage our emotions. It's not possible to control them, as Arjuna said. It's impossible, like to control the wind, but we can manage them.
那么这些情绪呢，我们是没有办法完全控制的，但是我们可以学习如何去管理。
And how most all of us come to the Hare Krishna movement having been wounded by the personality of Kali, the effects of Kali through trauma.
那么很多进入到 Krishna 知觉的奉献者，他们其实都受到了卡里人格的影响，受到了卡里人格的伤害。
So those are the beginning courses. You know, we have a course coming up in June called Right Use of Power. I don't know, maybe we'll have to do some translating to provide that for you, but these are important things to know, basic things in relationship, to get to know ourselves, be aware of who we are. Prabhupada says, be first conscious, then you can become Krishna conscious.
Mataji, you mentioned 3 areas. First one is the impact of grief. The second is manage your emotions. And the third?
Trauma.
Trauma. Okay. 那么刚才我们讲到了这个3个话题，一个呢是伤痛对灵性成长的影响，第二个呢是把看到我们的这些情绪是一个很好的讯息，然后去处理它，去管理它们。第3个呢就是怎么样去面对伤痛，由卡利的人格所给我们带来的各种伤痛。那么其实我们首先要去了解我们自己的情绪，去观察它，去感受它。先要有知觉，然后才会有 Krishna 知觉。Okay. Next. Surya Narayana Prabhu said, 我也想参与奉献者关爱的课程。我相信用言语与聆听是最能贴近更多灵魂的。I also want to participate in courses on devotee care. I believe language and listening can help more souls get closer, or is the best way to get two souls closer.
I agree.
This is comment.
Yes.
And then Manini Radha asked, thank you, Mother Ramburu. We received lots of instructions from Sastra that we should tolerate the waves of mind and modes of nature. And I found sometimes devotees are under some pressure to swallow the truth that we are imperfect. What's the difference between healthy tolerance and denying the fact? 非常感谢 Rambo Ramataji。我们从经典当中得到了很多的训示，告诉我们，我们应该去忍受心意的波动，还有自 三形态的影响。我发现有的时候奉献者，他们会感觉到压力，去直接接受这样的，接受我们不完美这样的现实是很有压力的。那么一个健康的容忍和否定事实之间有什么区别？
So feelings are messages, they're information.
我们说感受就是一个讯息，他们能够告诉我们一些东西。
So instead of trying to shut them down, we need to ask, we need to be curious. What do they mean? What are they telling us?
所以当情绪来的时候，感受来了的时候，我们不要去把它关起来，而应该怀着一种好奇心去了解它为什么会来，它到底是怎么回事。
If we don't pay attention to the meaning of the feelings, then we end up hurting other people.
如果我们没有去理解这个情绪背后的意义的话，我们最后其实会伤害到其他人。
For example, I might be hungry and
比如
grouchy
说，
because I'm hungry.
可能比如说我现在很饿，饿了我就情绪就不太好，
And so I'm grouchy to say mean things to other people because I'm hungry.
所以我就可能会对其他人这个出言不公。
Or I might be feeling angry about something. Again, I'm saying mean things to hurting other people because I'm angry. I'm angry.
或者是当我很生气的时候，我也会说一些伤害到别人的话。
Or maybe I'm feeling lonely and I have a need to have association, but I don't get that need met, and I'm artificially not taking care of my needs. I need association. So instead of getting that need met, I'm shutting myself down.
或者是当我感觉到很孤独的时候，我没有去寻求别人的联谊，那我就会把自己关起来。我要去得到联谊的这个需求没有得到满足，
Or I could be tired.
或
Everybody
者是我
knows
们可能也
you're
会累
tired.
了。
Yeah, you're grouchy.
我们累了的时候也会脾气变得很坏。
So these are in English, it would be hungry, angry, lonely, tired. If you notice that you're any of those, you need to stop and take care of yourself.
所以当我们饿了的时候，我们生气的时候，我们感觉到很孤独的时候，或者我们很累了的时候，这个时候我们都需要停下来，让自己休息。
Otherwise, you're going to hurt other people.
否则的话，我们就会伤害到别人。
So the feelings are there to tell us what we need now. What do we need right now?
所以，当我们有一些感受的时候，我们就要去想，到底我们有什么需求，在这个感受的背后。
So if you're hungry, go get something to eat before you start charging off doing a whole bunch of stuff. Get that need met.
所以，如果你饿了，你就去找点吃的，而不是把这个饿了以后的这个坏情绪，用这个坏情绪去做好多别的事情。
If you're feeling angry, take a break, do some breathing, take a walk, ask yourself, what is it that's making me so angry? First, take care of that before you now push ahead now and mow over people.
那么，当我们生气的时候，也是我们要去，比如去散个步啊，让自己静下来，否则的话，我们可能就会去伤害到别人。
If you're lonely, reach out for devotee association.
如果你感觉到孤独的话，那么你就去寻找奉献者的联谊。
You're tired, take a nap.
累了你就睡会儿。
Yeah. In English, in the airport, when you go on an airplane, the stewardess says, first put on your mask before helping anybody else. Do you have that in China?
那么大家坐飞机都有这个体验，空中的服务人员会告诉我们要自己先戴上氧气罩，再给你旁边的人戴上氧气罩，给你的孩子戴上氧气罩。
So
在
we
中国
can't
也是这样。
we will not have the capacity to help others if we can't first also take care of ourselves.
如果我们没有首先先照顾自己的话，我们就没有能力去照顾别人。Okay, there are more. 顶拜暖心迪迪问顶拜老师，我想向内在述说，是不是也是很好的方法呢？ My obeisance is speaking to myself or make an introspection. Is it also a good method?
Oh.
Is it a good method? Is a question.
Yes, that's the science of self. We should be reflective. That's part of Krishna consciousness. Being aware of what's coming, being curious, what's coming up in me? Why am I feeling? Looking at the feelings, making meaning, letting them go. Yeah, introspection, contemplation, that's part of meditation.
那
Yes.
么向内在述说，或者是内观，去内省，这都是Krishna 知觉的一部分，都是很好的方法，去弄清楚自己的感受，然后去想为什么会有这样的感受，它到底给我表达了什么样的讯息，这都是很好的方法。
Yeah.
Okay, next. Have you finished? Next. My basis is to the beloved teacher. Thank you. I also thank them. Thanks for the translation. I also want to learn the skills of devotee care. How can I take part in the training course? Hare Krishna. 顶拜敬爱的老师，感谢翻译。我也想学习奉献者关爱的技能，请问怎样可以参加培训课，对吗 ？Hare Krishna. I think we have answered this question, right?
Yeah.
So let's.
Well,
move on.
they may not understand because Chandrasekhar, he announced that we're going to have a monthly meeting. I'm not sure that's exactly how we've planned to do it. So there will be a follow-up. We'll do some of these intro courses, but we don't know how that's going to roll.
Can I jump in here?
Please.
You can translate this, Govinda Nandini.
Okay.
Regarding devotee care, for the devotees' information, there is a devotee care group in mainland China.
那么关于这个奉献者关爱呢，在大陆呢是有一个奉献者关爱的群体。
At present, it's headed or coordinated by Sandini Mataji.
现在呢，它是由散迪尼玛塔基在协调管理。
So in addition to Rambaru Mataji and Karunike, there are also other training courses for devotee care that take place from time to time.
Yeah.
那么除了这个 Ramburu Mataji 的这个 Karuna Care 的课程之外，还有其他的课程也在讲这个奉献者关爱。
So for those of you who are interested in those, so that facility is also there.
所以呢，还是有这些机会在的，就是有这样的培训课在的。
There will be, as Mataji mentioned, there will be a Karuna Care course will begin, but to begin with, because all the materials are in English, it will be for Chinese devotees who speak English.
那么我们除了这个公开课，就是每个月一次的这个公开课，比如今天是第一次，我们还有一个小型的一个培训的课，但是是针对能够讲英文的奉献者的。
Because all the materials are in English.
对，因为老师提供的所有的这些学习资料都是英文的。
But as Mataji mentioned earlier, the plan is to have Chinese devotees who speak English and Chinese to be trained, and eventually, they will be teaching also, but that will obviously take some time.
那么当然像马塔基刚才说的，我们希望能够先培训一批能够讲英文的奉献者，然后再由他们去培训其他的奉献者。那么当然这个肯定是要花一些时间的。
And there are other devotee care related trainings that take
Right.
place from time to time, and we'll be, informing the devotees accordingly.
Yes.
那么当然我们也有其他的这个关于奉献者关爱的培训课，也是不时隔一段时间就会有这样一次课，到时候我们也会通知大家。
Karuna Care focuses on emotional support. That's what we focus on, emotional and spiritual support.
那么卡鲁纳 Care 它的关注点是在我们的对于情绪的照顾，还有一种灵性的照顾上。
But there are many other aspects of devotee care, like end-of-life care and medical care and food for the elderly and those kinds of things, other devotees are working on too. So there's lots to do.
那么关于奉献者关爱，其实有很多的方面。那么卡鲁纳 Care 是关注在这个情绪的关照上，那么还有其他的奉献者是从其他的角度来进行奉献者关爱，比如说给老年人提供食物啊，或者一些医疗方面的帮助等等。Okay, next one. Simha 108 asked, 关景如光明使者，顶拜老师，我们平时说痛苦留给自己，不要向别人诉说。我们一般也不喜欢听别人给自己抱怨唠叨倒垃圾，如何超越这些 Hare Krishna. My obeisances, usually we say, save the pains to ourselves. Do not complain to others. And also we don't like to hear others complaining or nagging and dumping their garbage on us. So how to surpass this?
Well, you have to create a container. There has to be a place for it. Otherwise, it's just spilling over. There has to be a place for that to go on.
我们得建造一个容器。You mean a container for?
Well, we call
for ourselves or for others.
Well, if you don't have a place where you can go to express yourself, it's going to spill out at odd times all over the place, right?
Okay. 那么就是说，如果你没有一个可以诉说的地方的话，比如有一个专门的地方你可以来诉说的话，那么你就会把你想要说的东西告给很多的人。
So we create we call it a container in the helping professions. It's a space that is dedicated for hearing people share their stories, their challenges to process, and it's limited. You might, like in our grief support group, you have a 90-minute once a week for 12 weeks talking about a loss. That's a container.
所以在我们专业领域有这个说法叫一个容器，就是说在这个容器里面，这是个专门的一个地方，大家可以在一起来互相倾诉、聆听。那么这个容器呢，它既然是个容器，它是有边界的。所以它是要有时间的限制，比如说我们的一些小组就会有比如每个星期见一次面，大家一起来互相倾诉，来聆听，我们就是每90分钟1个半小时这样的时间。
If you see other people's sharing as garbage, you're not seeing what's underneath that. There's something underneath making it look like that.
如果你看到别人是在倒垃圾的话，如果你认为他们的话是在倒垃圾的话，表明你没有理解他们说话就是背后的深意啊，就他们为什么会有讲这些话，你没有去理解它背后的这个意义。
If I step on a dog's tail, he's going to now try to bite me, right? He's going to look like he's going to bite me.
如果我踩到一个狗的尾巴的话，它肯定会要来咬我。
So if you want him to stop being angry, you take your foot off his tail.
如果你不想让他们生气的话，你就把脚拿开，不要踩到他们的尾巴。
So sometimes a person's deep pain manifests or expresses as garbage, craziness.
所以有的时候人们当他们内在有很深的伤痛的时候，他们外在就会表现出说很多垃圾一样的话。
If you resolve the pain, that behavior will go away.
如果你能够解决他们的这个伤痛的话，他们的这些行为就会自然消失。
Just like if I take my foot off the dog's tail, he will stop wanting to bite me.
就像如果我把我的脚从这个狗的尾巴上拿开的话，那它就不会想要来咬我了。
So that's the art of a devotee that sees with equal vision a dog, a Brahmin, a cow, and a dog eater.
所以这就是我们说的这个平等视域啊。我们要看一个婆罗门，一个狗和食狗者都以同样的眼光来看待。
If you understand that at the heart of every living being is Satchidananda,
如果你能够看到，其实在每一个生物体的内在都是 Satchidananda，
That means-
永恒全知喜乐的。
eternal form of wisdom and joy. That's who we
那
are.
么我们看到我们每个人其实都是全知的、永恒的，全知的、喜乐的。
As part of the absolute Satchitananda, eternal form of wisdom and joy.
而且看到我们每一个人都是至尊的、
And you
永
have
恒
to
全
see
知的
past-
喜乐的一部分。
You have to look past all the externals right to the essence of who that person is.
你们要超越你所看到的外在的这一切表现，而去看到每一个人的实质。
Yeah. And that's what when you can see with that vision, you can also help people heal who might look like they're sharing garbage. They may have
所以
a
如果你
problem.
所以你如果有一个平等的视域的话，你就能够看到他外在的这些背后，能够超越他外在的这些活动，
Not
去
everybody
真
can
正
do
的帮助
this.
到他。
Yeah, not
不是每个人
everybody.
都能够做
Not
到这
everybody
样。
can do this. This is why we train, but not everybody has the capacity to actually listen with that level of compassion. It's a huge discipline.
那么不是每个人都有能力做到这一点，
Yeah.
所以是需要培训的，需要一些约束规范，才能够达到这样的一种境界。
Yeah.
OK， another question， 如何向别人敞开心扉 ？How can we open our hearts to others？
Well, that's the answer in itself. Just open your heart and try to see Krishna in their heart. Be curious about them rather than judgmental. Ask them questions, get them to tell you their story. Find out how your story is like their story.
Open your heart to others.
Just open your heart. Open your heart means not defend against. Our heart is hard. All of us have hard hearts from many lifetimes of sense gratification and selfishness. So we have like cement around our heart.
那么我们每个人的心其实都是很硬的，因为经过了无数的生世，我们的心就像一个水泥一样。
And in order for that heart to melt, we have to, yeah, go ahead.
要让这个心融化的话，
In order for that heart to melt, we have to, while we take shelter of Krishna through chanting, be able to surrender to what is in our lives.
当我们在向 Krishna 在念诵 Krishna 的圣名的时候，我们必须向我们内心的，在我们生活当中所发生的一切臣服。
When we talk about animal life, we are talking eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, right?
我们在谈论到动物的生活的时候，我们说动物是 吃睡交配和防卫，
That's not just physical defending.
并不只是这个外在的防卫，
It's emotional defending,
还有这个情绪上的防卫，
ego defending.
还有我们的假我的防卫。
So we all have this, we all have a guard, we all have a block of cement around our heart defending against human connection.
我们的心就像水泥一样，它其实有层层的覆盖来保护我们，让我们就是当我们不想去和对外界连接的时候，它就像一个水泥一样，在阻挡着我们的心，或者是说是在防卫着我们的心。
And we have this because we are focused on body concept. You know, we're looking at bodies, genders, ethnicities, cultures, and we're not looking at the eternal soul in the person.
为什么会这样？是因为我们还是处在躯体化的概念当中，我们没有去看到每一个人都是一个灵性的灵魂。
So when we can surrender to what is in our world and the people in our world as being also part of Krishna, even if it might be painful, to be able to surrender and melt into that will also soften our hearts. When we reach for saying, this is not this person doing this to me. This is Krishna here. Krishna's somewhere in there.
如果我们能够把我们自己，能够臣服于我们的生活和我们周围的一切，看到其实一切都是 Krishna 的安排。当一个人伤害了我们的时候，我们不会认为是这个人的对我们所做出的行动，而我们会看到这都是 Krishna 的安排。
And if Krishna's there, then it's through submissive listening to what is Krishna trying to teach me in this moment.
所以我们看到 Krishna 在一切当中，如果我们能够带着臣服心去聆听的话，我们就会去思考 Krishna 到底想要告诉我什么。
Yeah. It's an art.
这是一门艺术。Sati Devi asked， 请问 Mataji 有没有可能给中国奉献者开这套课程？这套课程您指的是那个只是针对讲英文的奉献者开的这个培训课程，对吗？还有下面一个 Mataji 问的问题是相关的，我也想参加这套课程，但我不会英语，可以吗？我想这个问题可以集中回答，对吗？I also want to take part in the training course, but I don't know English. Will that be okay?
We're going to work on how we're going to do this because there's some technology issues we have to sort out. So we'll let you know what we can do when we're ready.
那我们现在因为还没有开始啊，也是在这个探索的过程当中，我们可以看，到时候可以通过什么样的方式啊，来解决这个问题。因为我们的课程都是英文的，然后也需要一些技术呢，大家能够看英文的网站。这个可能要到后面来考虑。
Can I jump in again? Sorry, Mataji, to insert myself.
Please, that's fine.
This is this is, as you know, in Chinese, there's a saying, every journey starts with a single step. So today is the first step in the direction that you're all asking.
Yes,
那么
thank you.
就像中国人说的，千里之行，始于足下。我们今天只是迈出了第一步，今天是第一次开课。
So as Mataji mentioned, we'll be discussing how to make it more available, but you know, it's not going to happen in a week or 2 weeks. These things will take time to prepare and so on.
那么就像我刚才说的，这个是需要时间的，所以大家耐心等待。
All the materials are in Chinese and there's clips. Sorry, all the materials are in English and there's clips and so all this will take time to prepare.
因为所有的教学资料都是英文的，所以要是把它们翻译成中文的话，那是需要大量的时间，所以需要很多的准备。
And that's one reason why we are having these once a month, or we could make it twice a month if Mataji has the time, what we're doing today.
就像我们今天上的这个公开课，原来说是1个月1次，那如果玛塔吉有时间的话，我们也可以1个月2次。
And in the meantime, the other things will be prepared also.
那么同时我们也会去做其他的准备。
Yeah.
OK， Yogi Mata 玛塔吉，感恩玛塔吉如此美妙暖心的讲课，聆听真的是一门艺术。我记得10多年前我做过公益心理咨询热线员，当一位陌生人打进热线电话时，我简单介绍自己以后，接下来就是对方滔滔不绝地在电话那头分享他当下的困惑，有些甚至会哭个不停。这样的电话中聆听会持续至少1个半到2个小时，甚至更长的时间。我其实很多时候并没有给到对方具体多么好的方法，当我真的是怀着同理心去聆听对方，把宝贵的时间给予对方，在这个过程中，适当的时候会给予对方恰当的回应，对方会感受到被尊重、被肯定，最后挂上电话时是很满足的。我也因此感到很幸福快乐。现在有了 Krishna 知觉，我想可以更实际的帮助到更多的人。感恩翻译和老师这么美好的课程。This is a comment. Thank you very much for your wonderful and very heartwarming lecture. Listening is really an art. I remember over 10 years ago, I was hotliner for a public mental counseling. When a stranger called in, I introduced myself briefly, and then he began to share his or her perplex non-stop. Sometimes he will cry. So in this kind of telephone, I would listen for at least 1 hour, 1.5 hours, and 2 hours, even longer. In fact, most of the time, I didn't give the other any methods, good methods, but really I listened to them with compassion. I gave my precious time to them. And during the course, sometimes I will also give them proper response, so the other will feel respected and validated. So finally, when they hung up the phone, they were very satisfied. I myself also felt very happy. So now with Krishna consciousness, I think I can help more with a more practical approach. So thank you very much for this wonderful course.
Yeah, so much to learn.
Yes, also he said for the devotees who don't speak English, can you do something so that all the devotees can hear, can listen, can learn?
We'll find a way.
If possible, can we translate some of your courses in the first place to share with the Chinese devotees?
That's the plan, yeah.
如果可能的话，能否先翻译一些玛塔基以前的课程给中国的奉献者聆听？Okay. Sati said, we are so need of this kind of technique. We are badly need of this kind of technique.
Oh.
Okay, I think that's all the questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's enough for now, right? We had enough for now.
Yes, it's
We had a good
more
time.
than 2 hours.
Thank you very
Okay.
much. It was so nice meeting you all. I don't know how to say that, but
So,
thank you.
所以非常感谢大家今天能够 来聆听这堂课，非常感谢。
Sorry, can I jump in one more time?
You are welcome. This is your show, of
Sorry,
course.
Mataji.
No, it's wonderful.
So thank you, Rambaru Mataji, very much for your sharing today.
You're welcome.
Govinda Nandini.
那么非常感谢今天您能来跟我们分享这堂课。
As we can see and hear, the devotees were greatly appreciative and found it very beneficial and kept asking, we want more, we want more.
那么从我们聆听的奉献者的反应当中，我们也可以看到，大家对您的课是非常欣赏的，感觉到非常有帮助，所以他们不断的提问题，总是想要了解更多。
And as I said earlier, every journey starts with a single step. So we'll be keeping you all informed, you know, what more steps and things can be done as you're requesting.
Yes.
那么就像我们刚才说的，千里之行始于足下。那么我们现在只是刚刚走出了第一步，后面我们会继续有更多的分享给大家。那么到时候我们也会让大家知道。
In the meantime, I think we all learned something today, which we can be more mindful about also.
那么我想我们大家每个人都学到了一些东西，大家都可以对这些方面有更多的觉知。
Remember, these sorts of courses are not, because we know Chinese devotees, they like to take course after course after course after course, which is nice, but again, it's not just for the knowledge part, it's again for the caring for others and for ourselves also.
Right.
那我们知道中国的奉献者都特别喜欢听课，听了一个又一个的课，但是我们要的其实并不是信息，并不是知识，而是对自己和对他人的关爱。
So we've all, I'm sure, learned something today, and be mindful of it and put it into practice in your own life and when you help others in whatever little way you can.
那么今天我们可以把我们学到的这些东西运用到我们的生活当中，去时刻保持觉知，然后也可以更好的去帮助到其他人。
And we'll keep in touch. We'll keep you informed about other sharing and presentations or courses or something. We just have to, along with Mataji, of course, figure out what can be done and when and so on.
Yeah.
那么后续我们有一些什么样的课程，有什么样的讲座，我们都会给大家发通知。
Okay.
So thank you again, Mataji. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And we'll arrange to speak some more. I'll contact Govinda Nandini and we can work out a time to meet.
Yes, good idea. Hare
Yeah.
Krishna.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
I'm going to end the meeting.
Recording stop.